All right, starting off in comparison to what we were talking about last time, as far as the sublevels being different, we can draw a little diagram. And you probably saw this either in your book or like in a lecture last year. If we look at the first place where electrons are found, I'm going to draw a box for the number of electrons that could be in here. We call this one the 1s. So this is the only place electrons can be found, is right in there. Now that's it. So we move on to the next energy level. So up a little higher in energy, you can have a 2s. And that's it. That's all you got available for the 2s, but we're not done with energy level 2. A little bit higher up, we can go a little further out, over I guess, and we actually have a few different locations that we could put electrons over here. This is the 2p. So all the electrons found here are all equal to each other, but they're not the same energy as the 2s's. They're higher energy. And that's the end of the row. This is all that's available for the 2s, energy level number 2. And then we bump up into the third energy level, but the first place we stop is a 3s. And that's it. That's all it can fit there. And then we can scoot on over as far as energy goes. And you may have a question, but we'll get there in a moment. Not that you can actually ask me your question. 3p, this is where the electrons actually fall next. And then we move on up. Didn't give myself a whole lot of room here. The end of the row, so we move to the next place we can put electrons, is 4s. That's the next place we can put electrons. And then the next place we put electrons, this is the surprise, is a whole new location we haven't seen yet. I think I did that right. This is actually 3d. And then we scoot up a little bit higher. And it goes to 4p. And I'm not going to keep going. This gives a general idea that they actually will fall in different directions. But an easier way to look at this, I think, instead of like, this looks confusing, I would just use the periodic table as a tool. And as long as you know that if you're in D, whatever row, just -1. And if you're in the F, -2. Remember, it's 6 and 7. So if you're reading across, if you're in row 5, all right, so you're in row 5. Oops, I'm in the D's. Well, if I'm in a D, I'm always going to call these guys, whoever it is, as far as Lecture configuration. It's not going to be a 5, it's going to be a 4. And when I bounce back over to here, this little barrier going back into the P's, that's going to be back to whatever row I was in, 5, I guess. So 5s's, these are 4d's, and these are going to be back to 5p's. And then again, if you're in these 2 rows, only these 2 rows, once you get over to like this 58 area, you have to bounce into here, but it's not 6, even though it's in row 6, it's actually 4. So you just read across. Okay, let's keep going. Based upon this thing here, as far as how the electrons fall in, electrons are always going to go to, and they're going to fill from the lowest level that they can. And I didn't leave myself a whole lot of room, but basically in each one of these boxes that I drew, you have an electron that goes up and an electron that goes down. So this can hold 2, this holds 2, this holds 6 total, 2 each, and this holds 10 total, 2 each, going across. And they will always fall to the bottom. So in other words, you're not going to have one here, blah, blah, blah. This will fill, then this, then all 3 of those, and then so on down the line. And that is called the Aufbau Principle, which states that electrons fall to the lowest level. I call that the Pauli rule. If you're familiar with The Price is Right, that'll make sense. The Pauli rule. Okay, just to mention that there are four, and I did this earlier, 4 quantum numbers. The 4th quantum number, because of electron spin, what that does for us is it indicates that within an orbital with 2 electrons, they have opposite spin. And the reason they do is to reduce repulsion. So that helps as far as reducing that propulsion in that small space. And it also helps because they have these 2 in there, and based on the other quantum numbers, it would seem that they're the same, and they can't have the same location. They can't be found in the exact same location because, again, of this repulsion. And this goes along with something that we call the Pauli exclusion principle. So I call this the no same address rule. So in other words, someone else can't also live in your house, unless of course they live in your house. But you're not going to have some other family that just shows up at your house and says, I live here too. That would be weird. That doesn't make sense. So every house has its own unique address. So the electrons, each electron has its own unique address for quantum numbers. That last one is either a positive or a negative 1/2, just to distinguish that, yeah, they are found in the same orbital, but they're different. They run in different directions. Okay, let's talk a little bit about electron configuration. For electron configuration, we'll talk about 2 close neighbors elements, carbon and nitrogen. And as far as the number of electrons that are found in carbon, swing this over here. Carbon's over here, it's got 6 electrons, and nitrogen's got 7 electrons. Notice as far as you have to go through energy level 1 with the S, energy level 2 with the S, and then you're into energy level 2 still, but the P's. So as far as locations, you have the 1s, and they both have this. They have the 2s, and they both have this. And then they have the 2p. Okay, so for carbon, it again has 6 electrons, and nitrogen will have 7. So how these guys will fall, it doesn't matter up or down how you start, as long as they're different. Then we bounce over to here. I guess we're starting down. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then let's see, we'll do carbon. I've got 6. So 2, 4. I'm not going to stay in here. Because I have a location in another box, I'm going to put these guys in a different location. I'm not going to put them together because they're electrons, they're negative, they repel each other. And nitrogen will do the exact same thing. And again, up or down, it doesn't matter, as long as you put them away from each other. But just as far as process, we always put them in the same direction to show that they are away and separate from each other. This tells us one last rule. So we have Pauli exclusion, we have Aufbau Principle. This last one here is called Hund's rule. And this is going to tell us why we're doing this here. Is electrons, well, I guess I'm spelling it out here. Electrons will fill a sublevel, an S, a P, or a D, with the same spin. In other words, we just do it by coordinates, all up or all down, same spin, to avoid repulsion. In the same orbital. So to avoid that repulsion. And what I refer to this one as, the Cupcake Rule. As you're passing the cupcakes out, everybody gets one here, 1, 2, 3, until any of them gets 2. So for example, if we had the next element here, oxygen, over here, everything else would be the same. Everyone would get 1, and then once this is satisfied, I can now hand out a second one for oxygen because it has 8 electrons in there. Okay, that is the end of this lecture.